Oh. Hey, mate. Yeah, I've literally just finished doing my Rogue Invitational predictions. They're going to be up in about 20 minutes, I'd say. Check YouTube. Why? Thor's Thor's posted a video. All right, mate. I'll have a look now, and then I'll get the video posted. All right. Cheers, mate. Bye bye.
Hey guys, I'm really sad to announce that I will not be competing at Rogue Invitationals, the full show.
Oh, waste of my time. So as you can see from the title, guys, and from the intro to the video, Hafthor Bjornsson has pulled out of the Rogue Invitational, which is taking place in like 10 days, maybe a little bit less than that. Now, he says he's got shoulder pain in his right shoulder. He believes it's nerve pain. For those of you who haven't watched the video, it's only 8 minutes long, so obviously go check that out if you want to see what he has to say about it. And one thing I will say on the matter is that I don't believe Thor is the type of athlete to pull out of a show if he isn't injured. And if he thinks he can actually compete, he says himself in the video that this is the first time he's ever had to pull out of a show before it started due to injury. And he just feels as though with there being two pressing events at the Rogue Invitational, it's not fair for him to take that spot and that he won't be able to compete for a chance to win the title. And I think that's admirable because there's a lot of athletes that would turn up to the show, compete and take whatever prize money is there. And fair enough, they might need it more than Thor does. And I don't think they do it intentionally. I think every athlete turns up to the show with the intentions of competing in the full show and doing the best they can. But that brings us on to the next question, the more important question of who is going to replace him? Is anybody going to replace him? I think somebody will. We've already had Bryce Johnson come in for Evan Singleton, and I'm trying to work out who they might replace him with. Because he's an Icelandic, and they're not going to place him with another Icelandic guy because there's just nobody from that neck of the woods who is at the level to be at the Rogue Invitational at the moment. One name that has put himself out there is Luke Richardson, someone who we spoke about quite a bit recently. He's obviously just won the World Tour Finals. He would be a great addition to the show. Lucas Hatton put on his Instagram that he'd love to see Luke there, even though it lowers his chance of winning. He's completely open and honest about that. I do think Luke Richardson would be a good addition to the show. He's obviously in good shape, and he's good enough to compete against the top guys in the world. I think before the World Tour Finals, Mateus would have been a name on, the tip of everyone's tongue to take part in the show because he's been around the Arnolds, he's been around the Rogue, World's Strongest Man, he's always done well in the big shows, but he pulled out after the first event, which was the log press at the World Tour Finals, only hit 180. I'm not sure what happened. I think he said it was just a bit of pain and he didn't want to push it and potentially injure himself, so that he had to take a long time off. Another name that I will throw in there is Jaakko Schoonwinkel. I think that people might disagree with this, and maybe I am basing it off one performance that he had at a Giants live show, which was after guys had come back from the Strongest Man on Earth, so they weren't maybe at the best. But we've seen what he did on his debut at Worlds, where he beat Brian Shaw in his heat, and we saw him at the Giants live show. And you don't necessarily have to compare him against the other athletes, even if you just, I can't remember the events off the top of my head, but I can try and find them for you. Even if you just look at the way that he competed in that show, the things that he did in that show, it's clear that he's very good. So, log medley, there was a total of, 12 people, 12 points up for grabs. Log medley came 5th. Is that the right one? Is that the right one that I'm thinking of? Yeah, I think it is. Sorry, guys. Let me just find it. Let me just find the exact one. Yeah, that is. So at the Giants Live Strongman Classic. So he was 1.5 points behind Evan Singleton. He beat Paddy Haynes. He beat Rain O'Neill. He beat Lucas Hatton. He beat Trey Mitchell. beat Mitchell Hooper. All names at the Rogue Invitational. Log Medley, he came 5th overall, I believe. There's 12 points up for grabs. He got 7. Hercules Hold, he got 10 points. Frame Carry, he got 11 points. Deadlift, he got 7 points, which is 5th again. Atlas Stones, he got 10 points. Now, there's precedent events in this, and he beat Paddy Haynes, he beat Rain O'Neill, he didn't beat Lucas or Trey, but they're incredibly hard to beat, and he beat Mitchell Hooper, who admittedly wasn't on form. Hercules Hold and Frame Carry, I suppose we can look at those together. 2 grip events. We've got the Frame Carry into arm over arm. Is it a Frame Carry into arm over arm? No, it's the push into the arm over arm. But either way, he has a very good grip. So when it comes to the arm over arm, he's going to be good at something like that. He's a tall guy and he's a farmer as well. So that hay bale push should be good for him. The deadlift is, he wasn't too bad at it with 6 reps. When the most was 10 reps, which was Trey Mitchell. He tied with quite a few people on 6 reps, the likes of Rain O'Neill, for example, and Lucas Hatton. And then the Atlas Stones, he came 3rd on the Atlas Stones, which is a very good performance. And they have Atlas Stones or a similar event at the Rogue Invitational. Now, I can understand people not thinking that Jaco Schoonwinkel is ready for this level of competition, and maybe he isn't ready for this level of competition. But the question is, who else would take the spot? So there's 2 names I've chucked out there for you in terms of Luke Richardson and Jaco Schoonwinkel. I just want to take a look at the 2025 Strongest Man on Earth, because obviously they've taken... Why is it not coming up? 2025 Strongest Man on Earth. So they've taken Bryce Johnson, who was behind Evan Singleton, Lucas Hatton, Thomas Evans, Austin Andrade at the Strongest Man on Earth, ahead of Trey Mitchell. They've taken Bryce Johnson from that competition, so I'm wondering if they pulled him from that competition because of the position that he finished in, meaning that if we go down, you've got Tristan Hoth, who was in 7th place behind Trey Mitchell and ahead of Tom Stoltman. So potentially, Tristan Hoth is another person that could get into this lineup. I'm not 100% sure. I have kept checking Rogue, and I don't see any updates yet. I've not even seen an update of them saying that Hafthor Bjornsson has had to withdraw. I don't even think they updated that Evan Singleton withdrew. I think they just put Bryce Johnson on the Instagram page and removed Evan Singleton, which, is fair enough if that's how they want to do it. I don't have any problems with that at all. I think I'm simply stating that's what they did. Now, my opinion, Luke Richardson should take the place. I think out of the 3 that I've mentioned there, Luke, Jaco and Tristan, I think Luke Richardson is probably in the best shape. He's just competed in a show recently, so it's clear that he's in good shape. This sort of show will suit him. And look, Luke Richardson has been injured a lot in the past. And I like the mindset that he has in terms of, I need to just compete, get in there, get it done, and try to win these shows. I think get him whilst he's hot, because he's an injury-prone man, whether he wants to admit that or not, whether it's a nice thing to say or not, he is an injury-prone man. And you never know, he could get injured again before next year's Rogue Invitational. And it would be a shame to never see an athlete of that caliber, of that talent, at one of these big shows, because I don't think he's ever done the Arnolds or the Rogue or the Strongest Man on Earth. And I think he definitely deserves a spot at all of these shows. But that's the end of the video. Thor is out. I will update my predictions at some point, because I had Thor in 2nd, which means for now I've got Lucas Hatton winning, Mitchell Hooper in 2nd place, and then 3rd position, I don't know yet. I can't remember what I said in the video, but it just means more content. Don't forget, guys, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next.